Part 2, Dr. Yemi Olunlọyọ. In part 1, I was telling you about my sister, Yemi Olunlọyọ-Buckner, who lives in Philadelphia, USA, and spoke to the Nigerian Tribune about what is going on with my family. Yemi has really never spoken to the media. She doesn't do interviews. She's just very on the low profile. But she came out and she did an interview with the newspaper, and the newspaper knew better than doing an interview with her because this is a very sensitive time for the family. They allowed my sister to call me the black sheep of the family and say very bad things about me. Like I said, to the Nigerian Tribune and their families and their children, may God punish all of you. Debo Abdullahi, Larry Suleiman, whoever the editors are, may God punish all of you. You know what you're doing, and you know you did wrong, all right? That has been my father's brown envelope paper. I said in the last video that my father wrote a lot of inflammatory articles against many politicians. And when he wrote them, he will pay Dakbo Gunsi, Laulu Afolabi, Wale Ojonlanre, who has denied that he never collected money to do articles. All of them were paid. All of them were my father's agents, okay? For all the politicians in Nigeria who have had some kind of inflammatory article written about them by the Nigerian Tribune, you know Omololu Olunlọyọ wrote that article. I'm just letting you know now. Okay, Debo, you once told me that you don't want them to come and burn the newsroom down. Well, you might be close to that now. Anyway, I'm going to look through this article. As you guys can see, okay, you can just Google Olunlọyọ, okay, and Nigerian Tribune, and this article will come out. I analyzed the article, okay. They asked a question when it comes to your trajectory, especially being the first child of such a popular public figure with a lot of siblings. You must have had sibling rivalries that will be ringing in your head, or you don't recall any. My sister was given that baiting question so she can remember Yemi Olunlọyọ, and you open a stupid-ass kind of worms, Nigerian Tribune. I'm going to respond to that. My sister said it is pretty much what I've said to you. Kemi is the one right after me, and she's always at my heels. Yemi, I was never at your heels at any time. Okay, it was me and Funke, so don't change the narrative. I've always been a low-key person, correct? And she has always been more boisterous since we were kids. And the more reason why I have to say this is because when we were kids, okay, she said clearly that when we were kids, and we never had fights, Yemi. They sent us to UK together in Oxford. We lived in the same house. We went to the same schools in the same areas, and, you know, different schools, but in the same area. We did everything together. It was me and Funke, it was never me and you. So don't change the narrative. And Daddy would always say to her, calm yourself down, Yemi is my first child. I don't remember my father ever saying that because there was no incidents in which I was actually competing with you. You're 61 going on 62. I'm 60 going on 61. This is nonsense. I mean, why would you bring this nonsense and lies up? Okay, and there's nothing I can do about that. I guess that kind of set in some emotions for her, as you already know. What does Tribune already know? What do they already know? Emotions that I was assaulted, sexually assaulted on Ikorodu Road. This is where I'm going to tell my fans that, like my cousins, they didn't know that I was sexually assaulted. They said I made it up. And an argument ensued between my fans and my cousin on my personal page. The same thing goes for my sister, Funke. Funke found out that I was sexually assaulted on Ikorodu Road in a fight in 2016. And that's when I busted that out. She didn't know. So I now found out, so mommy and daddy did not even tell them, okay? Now, she now said the other children were well connected to her and there was no problem. You can see the headline here in the Nigerian Tribune. And my sister, every family has a black sheep, but daddy gave all of us the best. Okay, so as the article goes on, okay, she describes Benga as an engineer, Funke as an architect, Ayabami an engineer, and has an MBA from Cambridge. How prestigious is that? All his children was prestigious. She described all the trajectory like they're almost all academically sound like daddy as far as mathematics is concerned. She mentioned nothing about me being a pharmacist, my first degree, being the top scoring pharmacist in the Maryland Board of Pharmacy, which is also a trajectory of mathematics. She didn't mention me at all here. Ayabami is extremely brilliant. He's the closest to Daddy. I think all of us are brilliant. When we have Shola, who did everything that Daddy wanted us to do. He went to Drexel University, but Shola decided he wanted to move in a different area as a chef. He's a master chef in the United States. I pray that someday people will get to meet him. People already know Shola online. I've promoted him so many times. Our culture sometimes does not open doors for people to do non-traditional things, but Shola stepped out in faith and he became a chef. He talked about everybody and what degrees they have, but said nothing about my degrees. Okay, she didn't say anything about my pharmacy degree, my journalism degree, my PR degree, and they're all 3 first class. You see where they become jealous and they become very rivalry to you. They become toxic, they become narcissists because they know they cannot get me in that position anymore, okay? They know that I won't talk to them. All these guys were begging me last week, oh. They were DMing me and everything, okay? I can post their DMs, but I don't talk to any of them. I want nothing to do with them. At the end of the day, Yemi, you have a file open on my desk. That Coke bottle you threw in 2016, you have not said you're sorry, you have never apologized for it, but yet you come to the newspaper and you're calling me a black sheep in the family and you're calling me all these different names. Now, according to my sister, Yemi Olunlọyọ-Buckner, she now said, well, I have to be honest as possible. I've really never heard what outsiders have said, but I'm sure you will be remiss to know that one of us, which is our number 3, I am not your number 3. Gbenga was born outside the marriage in 1964 to Mrs. Akere, a woman who was married to somebody else and had her own children. Okay, so she's number 1 to her mother. Okay, not number 3 in our own family. I'm number 2. Okay? Kemi has been online maligning Daddy and all that. I have not maligned Daddy. Everything I said. Daddy took you to drink blood. Daddy took Oyeleke to drink blood. Daddy sacrificed people. He did a lot of bad things. I found my CV and my child's exercise book with Daddy with gray powdery stuff, juju, coffins, everything. Every single thing I said about my father in those 52 videos are true. I have fought his PA. I have fought his spokesman. I have fought people that I have to fight. If they don't want to believe, that's their own fucking business. But it all happened, Yemi. I didn't malign Daddy. Yemi mi o malign Daddy. Gbogbo nǹkan tí Daddy ṣe nìyẹn. Sọ fún Nigerians, ṣé wọ́n náà lọ mú ẹ̀jẹ̀ pẹ̀lú wọn? Yes or no? Or you forgot you told me in front of mommy and all of you that went to do juju with him. Please wake up, because I can go on, but I'm going to spare a lot of you. If I show up at that funeral, it will be fighting. Okay? It will be rowdy. Gbogbo ẹ̀ máa dàrú ni kò dẹ̀ ní pay. Because it's a state funeral. At the end of the day, I'm not part of you anymore. She goes to say she is the black sheep of our family. And she wrote some disparaging things about our daddy. Yemi, you're 62 years old in about a month or 2. I'm not the black sheep of your family. Okay, and I didn't write anything disparaging. Everything I said about Daddy was 100% true, with receipts. When I called Daddy out in 2015 on his 80th birthday, Daddy dearest, and all the tweets about the juju, okay, were you there? Did you see the tweets? When Daddy came holding a coffin in front of me, in front of my room with KJ, and I attacked him with air freshener by spraying it into his eyes so that he doesn't throw the coffin and all the rubbish he was holding at me. Were you there? I tweeted it in 2015. Some people say, oh, why didn't she talk about it before? Has he come to refute it? No, because Daddy told the newspapers and the media to make sure these things don't go to press and that I have mental problems. Is that not what he did? He marketed me as a mentally unstable person. But no, I'm not. I'm very intelligent. I'm very, very intelligent. She's the black sheep of our family. She wrote some disparaging things about Dad. Why don't you elaborate on what those disparaging things are with the Tribune? So those are the things I don't like. Why don't you like them? What didn't you know? It won't more. You didn't know I was sexually assaulted on the Ikorodu Road because you were all small then. You were 14, I was 13. People have been asking me online, Yemi, please refute these things. I'm not engaging people about the content that she's saying. Because you don't feel like, and you know it's true. You say you don't want to engage people. Because you know it's true. I'm the first child. I know my dad. Okay, so all that stuff about cultism and that is absolutely not true. Yemi, you're a fucking liar. She said it's a total lie. Oh my god, that is shogun. Mommy more. You want more. I will do a part 3, but only strategic times in my baby online. But you're just a daddy, you're all liars.